Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is the last show of the year, folks. You're in the Pill Method Club, and the name of this room is How to Pay Off Mortgages in 7 Years. Not just mortgages, though. That's all of your debt. I know people on our program who are not just paying off their mortgage, but their student loans, their car loans, and credit cards, everything eliminated in about 7 years without changing their budget and without sacrificing lifestyle. When people think of says, Don, how am I going to pay off all this debt? And what am I going to live on if I'm taking all my money and paying off the debt? Okay, you want to remember this one. All right. You don't need more money to get out of debt faster. You need to pay less interest. All right. And I know Kurt's thinking, Don, you need to put that on a t-shirt. I know. I already know. Put it on a t-shirt. You don't need more money to get out of debt. You need to pay less interest. So I'm excited to get started here today. Jared, how are you, sir? And where are you in the world? I mean, because you're all over the place.
Yeah, so I'm in Atlanta to bring in the new year. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But
Jared, you shouldn't have told me that, man, because you're 3.5 hours away from me. And you're going to come this close and not come over to Huntsville.
Well, I'm going to see you in Miami, so we'll be seeing each other soon.
All right, man. All right.
Yep. But hey, welcome everybody to the Pill Method. This is how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. The last show of the year. The best way to bring in the new year is giving yourself some financial literacy, some generational wealth knowledge, and you want to share this with your friends and family so that they can understand how interest cost actually works, how amortization schedules actually work, so they're not a slave to the bank and they are more empowered and in control and taking that interest and turning it into your kids' inheritance. So if you're in the room, I want to make sure that you click that greenhouse at the top, follow the club. And in the club description, you will read a brief description of what the Pill Method stands for, what the acronym actually means, and what you can get out of today's room. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, we would love for you to click that share option and share with everybody in your friends list. They will thank you for putting them on to this information. All right. And in Clubhouse, click that plus sign, invite people in the room. This is going to be an amazing room. And this will be going for 2 hours. So we would love it if you participated by raising your hand and coming to the stage to ask about interest costs, ask about credit card debt, ask about student loans, ask about refinancing, and most importantly, ask about your mortgage situation and what is the best way for you to save the most interest in 2022. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the mic to Don so we can introduce himself formally, and then we're going to quickly do some moderated introductions, and then we're going to start answering the questions from the audience. So again, it happens every single show. The last 30 minutes, we'll have a line of 10 people with their hands raised because they're like, oh, wow, this is actually going to save me money in 2022. Let me raise my hand and ask about my specific mortgage and my specific situation, right? You don't want to wait. You want to raise your hand now so that you can get in front of the queue and we can make sure we answer your question. And I believe we have somebody from Wednesday that should be here to ask their questions. So Victoria, if you're here, we'd love for you to pop on stage so you don't have to wait. With that being said, Don, I'm going to pass it to you while we let people on the stage.
All right. This is a fantastic opportunity, everyone. My name is Don Daniel. I'm your interest cancellation expert, or ICE for short. And our business card is ICE 10K Live, ICE 10K Live.com, ICE 10klive.com, where you can get all of our information there. But I want to tell you right now that since 2006, we have been developing this idea of the Pill Method, which means prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. When I look at an amortization schedule, I see something different from what most people see, because I found out later in life that I have Asperger's, or it's a mild form of autism. And then a newer name for it is autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Now, this disorder we're going to use to reorder your lives financially, because when I take a look at an amortization schedule, I see what the banks don't want you to see. Even though they're making a lot of money with charging this interest, there is an inherent weakness in their system, and my ASD allows me to see it and then translate that information to you so that 30-year mortgages are paid off in an average of 7 to 9 years. Student loans, I don't care how big they are paid off in an average of 5 to 7 years. If your church has a mortgage, the church can be paid off in about 5 to 7 years without extra giving from the members. Oh, you don't know how huge that is. At regular giving levels right now, you can pay off your church in 5 to 7 years, not and instead of the 25 years it's set up for, but you don't have to give extra money. We're going to show you how to pay less interest on your church mortgage so that you can get out of that thing, have a mortgage burning for your church in 5 to 7 years without, I will repeat this, without extra giving from the members and without taking money from the ministries to pay off the debt. If you're a pastor, if you're on the deacon board, if you're on the financial committee, if you even, I mean, listen, if you're even sitting in the pew and you're listening to this, you and your church has a mortgage, oh my goodness, you better be going to ice10klive.com and let somebody know. You know what they say, you better tell somebody. Listen, folks, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to be talking about a couple of things right off the bat. Interest only loans. And I'm telling you, it is one of the best things since sliced bread. Most people don't look at it that way, but the banks set it up so they can make a ton of money. I'm going to tell you how you could take advantage of an interest only loan and make it work for you. And we're going to talk about and we've talked about it a lot, how a 3% mortgage is actually 51%, or 4% is actually 71% paid back. 5% is 93%, and 6% is 115.838%, meaning that you're going to pay back more in interest than you borrowed in principal. We're going to show you the math behind how the bank does that, how they take a low interest rate and turn it into a tremendous interest cost. So you want to start inviting people in here right away and be ready for this information. Jared, I am so excited to get into the first examples after the questions.
Absolutely. So we're going to go through some quick moderator introductions. We're going to keep it 30 seconds so that we can get to Victoria's question, and then we can get to all these examples that Don's got prepared. So my name is Jared Alberden. I've been in tech since 2006. My intention on Clubhouse and all social media platforms is to increase diversity in tech by providing content that helps people get closer to the resources. So if that's something that interests you, check out my replays on Clubhouse, as well as check out my LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can find all of that in my 10K card at jarrett10k.com. That's JARRETT10k.com. I'm going to pass it to my lovely co-host, Kenyatta.
Good morning, good people. My name is Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. And I'm your real estate broker out of the state of Illinois, soon to be Georgia, as well as your financial service provider, helping you with your rehab loans, refinance, as well as your business purpose loans. And right now, I would like for you to go ahead and do the best thing that you could do to end the year off right by going to ice10klive.com and picking how you want to view these examples. We're going to be streaming from YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So go ahead and pick how you want to view it, and see you soon.
Yes, and if you're on Clubhouse, it would be great if you can find a laptop or iPad so you can be able to come on the stage and ask a question while being able to see the examples on the screen. So I'm going to pass it to Tiffany.
Hey, everybody. I'm Tiffany, the Y CEO. And I want to thank you all for coming here on this New Year's Eve to start your 2022 off right. Well, I've worked in the financial sector now over 20 years, and I specialize in commercial development deals and property. And I can tell you this interest only method that Don has is very interesting because in my industry, We see a lot of interest-only loans. Most property developers and investors actually do interest-only loans because it benefits them on their taxes, and other ways to, leverage and buy more money and use that money to buy more property. So I see it all the time. So I'm very interested to hear this. And in the YCO network, guys, I have a wonderful collaboration with industry leaders. We just left a big conference and we'll be doing more. And we take you off the platform. Clubhouse is kind of new to a lot of us who are in this field, but most of us are on other platforms. So definitely follow me at yceo10k.com, and you can tap into any of my links and find a lot of information. Hopefully that will be helpful to you, because we're bringing experts, we're bringing you business training, and we're sharing amazing strategies to help you leverage not only your network, but to expand it. So 2022 is going to be a very big year for us over at the YCO network. So thank you so much for tapping in, yceo10k.com. And I will pass the baton over to the queen and the beautiful green and yellow, Miss Erin.
Great morning, everybody. It's so good to see you all on the last day of the year. Thank you all again so much for having me and for just doing this great work. I am tuning in from Washington, D.C. I've spent the month here, and I pretty much had my head down preparing for 2022. But I am Erin Porche from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my company is Global Worth Consulting Group, and we help to close the wealth gap and create different approaches to build community around building wealth for small business owners. Our focus is to help businesses grow and expand and diversify their portfolios, primarily with doing business with the government. So really excited to be here in the room with you all on today, and just continue to learn, grow, and expand. And get an understanding of how we can cancel debt, with the interest methods that is being taught here. So again, thank you all so much for having me, and Happy New Year to each and every one of you.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Kirk Nugent. I get to serve as your producer for today. Happy New Year, as it is on its, we're on our last day of 2021. Regardless of what your 2021 looked like, whether it was phenomenal, whether it was record breaking, whether it was absolute mess, you have an opportunity in 2022 to turn a new page, to start over. And I'm excited for everybody that's in the room right now. Just want to say a word of welcome to our folks that are online. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. Want to make sure you guys see me, know me, because I will be taking your comments. I'll be engaging with you in the comments online. Type your comments quickly, early. Respond as often as you possibly can. So we want to have this be as an engaging conversation as possible. I serve as a producer, meaning that I get a chance to broadcast this thing to all the different platforms that we are live on right now. Not all of them. This is a team effort, actually. A phenomenal team that Don has set up. But the main thing I think all of us are galvanized around is the fact that the information that's going to be shared here today will be life-changing. It's changed my life, and I'm definitely excited to be able to be a part of the team that's broadcasting it to a larger audience. So if you have any questions for me, connect with me at kirk10klive.com. Again, my name is Kirk Nugent. I get to serve as your producer.
Kirk, listen, man, I can't let you go because this is the last day of the year. Last day of the year. Did you realize that this is episode number 17 of our show, man? See, here's what's going on with that. And I need everybody to know that since we've been doing this show, I mean, the way that Kurt does this thing looks just like a TV show. And we have it up there on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's out there. Once it's up there, it's out there forever. And that's people are watching it over and over and over again. And one gentleman who was watching our program actually decided not to go with our program a few months ago. Decided not to. But because this information is out there, he got hooked. Watching it over and over and over again, he realized he made a mistake. He is now a client because this information is out there. Listen, folks,
That is
I need
amazing.
Kurt. You need Kurt. Listen, if you don't hear anything else today, folks, if you have a business and you are talking about marketing and getting your business out there, if you're not hooking up with this man right here so that he can help you do what he's done for me, my business has gone through the roof because
Wow.
the content is out there.
That's
The
right.
content is good. But guess what, folks? If you've got a good product, a good service, but nobody knows about it,
There it is. There it is.
what good is that? So listen, get with Kurt. He'll make sure that your information is out there and people do know about it. And even those who have told you no in the past will come back and say, yeah, I need your service now.
And of course, the price might be a little different. But hey, Don, thank you so much for
Of
for that
course.
plug, man. I really appreciate it, man. Absolutely.
All right, Jared.
All right, so we got our first question of the day. Victoria, thank you so much for coming back. And yeah, please let Don know what your question is.
Hey, good morning, Don.
Good morning, Victoria.
Hi. So, pretty much 2020, when they had the forbearance for the mortgages, I took advantage of that. I was I was 10 years into my mortgage. This was my first home. So I did take advantage of it for 12 months. Now they structured the loan. Before the forbearance, I had a balance, I believe, of like 121,000 on my home. I was paying approximately $1,154 a month for my mortgage, and my interest rate was about. I don't have the exact numbers. I'm just going off of the last information I had. About 5.28. Because when I purchased my home, my credit was not the best. So once they restructured everything for the forbearance, of course they pretty much started over with a new 30-year mortgage. My payment is lower; it's down to 756, I believe, and my interest is 2.83. So my question was, so what I've been doing for the last couple of months since I redid it, I've been paying them, sending them 1,200, telling them to add that overage because I had no problem paying the mortgage pre-COVID or what have you. So the
Mhm.
1154, I was able to, pay comfortably.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do, just kind of on my own, like, well, okay, I can still comfortably pay that, have that overage go towards the principal. But what I wanted to know from you, how can I kind of get those 10 years back a little bit quick? Because like I said, I'll be 50 in a couple of months. This is my first home. I'm not going to stay here another, 30 years. That's just not going to be it.
Mhm.
But I would like to keep the home and maybe invest it with it later. But I just wanted to know, how do I kind of get those 10 years chopped off of it? Plus, you know, I guess what my options are just to kind of get it done and over with. Because I know to start from zero was like, okay, I don't know if that was the agreement I should have went with or whatever. Because at that time, I didn't know about the P.I.L.L method or anything when I, signed back up, with the mortgage thing. So just reaching out to you to see what my options are, what you think is best for me to get this, kind of taken care of.
All right, Victoria, listen, let me tell you first things first, okay? First things first. When you have a plan to get, like our plan, to get out of debt in about 7 years, okay? What the plan looks at is how much money you owe and what you're working with, okay? It doesn't matter how many years the loan is for. And let me give you an example. If you have if you have 20 years left on your mortgage, and by using our program, it pays off in 7 years. And then you change it to a 25-year mortgage. It still pays off in 7 years. If you change it to a 30-year mortgage, it still pays off in 7 years. If you change it to a 40-year mortgage, it still pays off in 7 years. It doesn't change how we eliminate the interest. It doesn't change that. So it doesn't matter how many months you have. What matters is how much interest can you save. And so don't worry about the fact that you started over at 30 years. Don't worry about that because it'll pay off in the same amount of time. So if you had met me before all of this happened, and you say, "Oh well, I don't have to do that. Let's go into deferment." And then deferment means by that will put all of the payments on the back end. So if you were 10 years in, which means you started out with 360 payments, and then you're 10 years in, that's 120 payments off. Okay, so now we have a 20-year loan, we have 240. So by going into forbearance with 240 payments, if you want, or for all of those who are coming out, you can come out with 240 payments. But I'm here to tell you that because you're coming out in with 30 years, Victoria, dun, da, 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 you might even be in better shape to pay off even faster at a much lower interest cost, because now you're at a 30-year loan instead of the 20. Oh, what just happened? What did he just say? You may be in a better position because of how amortization schedules work. Let me, Victoria, are you actually seeing what we're doing online right now?
Yes, during the introductions, what I did, I grabbed my laptop, so I'm looking at the YouTube on the laptop, and I'm listening to you on Clubhouse on my phone. So yes, I can see it.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. Can you give me just some basic information about the loan that you have right now? Can you do that?
Yeah, I can try to give you. Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't need to be exact for this example. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now I'm putting something on the screen. So we have an amortization calculator about. So have you made the first payment on the new loan yet?
Yes, I have.
All right. And so about how much do you have left to pay off? Okay. How much do you have left to pay off? Well,
So
when you started
so
over?
when they added the money back to, like I said, I had got the loan down to about 124,000
Mhm.
from my initial thing.
Right.
So when they added the forbearance amount back, it went up to 138,000.
138,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
138,000. Now we're going to talk offline how that happened. So if you're ever in that position again, this won't happen to you. Okay.
Okay.
Because that shouldn't have happened to you. We're going to talk about how we can avoid that. All right. And what is the new interest rate?
The new interest rate is 2.85.
2.85. And and it's a 30-year loan.
Yes.
All right. So now what we're looking at here is a principal and interest payment of $570.71. That's just the principal and interest. We're not including taxes and insurance on this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and that's kind of where we're talking about. So, what we're looking at now is you said, now, how can I best do this with the situation that I have? Have you seen any of our examples on how to eliminate interest costs from one of these loans? Have you ever seen any of them?
See, that's the thing. I've been more so listening to the on the Clubhouse. This is my first time actually looking at a live demonstration on YouTube. So I've heard it, but I have not actually seen the plug and play like you're doing now. I haven't seen the chart.
Well, you are in for a treat. You are actually going to teach this class. Are you ready?
I guess.
All right. I think you're ready. So here's what we're looking at. Okay. On a $138,000 loan, the bank wants, we're going to take a look at the left column. The bank wants how much interest on that loan? $67,455.60. That's how much interest they want. So my question is this number 2.85% of this number? Answer is no. Okay, it's not 2% of that. It's actually almost half. Look at that. 138,000. Right. This is almost half. So it's actually 48. Look over to the right side. 48.881% of what you borrowed. That's what they want. And I'm going to get into how they're able to do that in just a few minutes. So let's take a look at your first payment here. And let me show folks and show you how easy it is to eliminate debt. So right now you're saying you're paying a little bit extra on your loan every month, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes, I've
right.
been, like I said, this will be my, actually, this weekend will be the third payment,
Okay.
and I've just been sending them $1,200.
I got you. I got you. So, and then, so $1,200. And so how much of that is over and above your regular payment? Because I've eliminated the taxes and insurance. So
It's almost $600 over and beyond my regular.
$600. Okay. Now, here's something that you need to think about and everybody needs to know. All right. When you go to when you go to the department store, your favorite department store, okay, do you go when the prices are full price or do you go when things are on sale?
On sale,
Oh, why do you do that?
because I save money that way, and I can get. I usually end up getting more because I'll still spend what I was going to spend, but I get more because it's on sale.
Okay, so now let's say you plan to spend $600 and you get some stuff on sale, all right? And you buy your $600 worth of stuff, but you got more stuff because it was on sale, correct?
Yes.
All right, now at the bottom of the receipt, what do they have printed when they're checking out? What do they have printed at the bottom of the receipt? Can you tell us?
Usually it'll say what you saved today, so to give
All
you what
right.
your savings is.
And why do they do that? Why do they print on the bottom of the receipt how much you saved? Why do you think they do that?
I guess to give you an idea of what you say, so you can come back again, so you can feel better about yourself too, probably.
All right, all right. So let's put a pin in that. Okay, so remember that answer because that's exactly right. Now, here's the next question I have for you. So, when you're paying extra on your loan, why are you doing that? Why are you paying extra on your loan?
Well, for me, it was like I said, the forbearance. I was comfortable paying the 1154 that I was paying, so it was
Mm-hmm.
in my head. It was always, well, whenever you can pay something extra towards the principal,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of lower your balance on your
Okay,
loan.
so here's what I'm hearing. You're paying that so you could pay off the loan faster.
Correct.
Now, is there any other reason to give them that extra money? Can you think of another reason why or your benefit might be to give them that money?
No, that was my only thought process. I
Okay,
mean,
so here's what we want to focus on. If the bank wants $67,455.60 from you in interest, if you pay them off early, do you think you're going to have to pay them all of this $67,000?
no,
So you're going to have to pay them less, right?
correct.
All right. So here's one of my things. So what you're actually going in and say, listen, I want to get my mortgage on sale right now. Dun, da, da, da. So if you give them that money, they should be able. Can they figure out? Do you think the bank can figure out how much interest you just saved with that $600 payment?
Yes.
Okay. Now here's the good question. How many times since you made 3 payments have they sent you a receipt saying, "Thank you very much for the 600 extra dollars. Here's how much time you saved. Here's how much interest you saved." Did they print that at the bottom of your receipt?
No,
What? Are you kidding me?
not at all.
You mean your department store is going to tell you how much interest, how much money you save by getting this stuff on sale, but so you can feel better about it and come back and do it again, but your bank will not tell you how much interest you saved and how much time you saved with that $600?
No, sir, not at all.
Wow. And do you know what's worse, Victoria? It never
I'm
even
afraid to ask.
it never even occurred to us to ask what we received for that money. So let me ask
Not,
you, would you go to your favorite department store and say, here's $600 and leave out without knowing what you bought?
not at all.
Then why are we giving money to the bank and we leave out without knowing what we bought?
Because I don't see. It's too early. I'm in Chicago. It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, listen. And the reason why I'm asking this in this way is because if I asked your accountant, okay, if I asked your accountant the same questions, I'd get the same answers that you're giving me.
Okay.
If I asked your financial planner or your mortgage professional or the person that sold you your mortgage or your real estate agent, if I asked them all the same questions I'm asking you, they would give me the same answers you are giving me. Why?
So I shouldn't feel so bad then.
No, you shouldn't feel bad at all because the situation you're in is not your fault. I want to repeat
May
that.
I interject?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Who
From
is
the
it?
bank.
Who is this?
My name is Cindy. I'm an underwriter and I underwrite mortgages for a living and do new home purchases.
Okay, Miss Cindy. What's your introduction?
So you're paying your mortgage, making extra payments towards principal and interest,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
So you're paying down the principal and the interest of the loan.
Right.
Even if she made straight principal payments only, not to interest, she's knocking down the principal amount of 138, correct?
Correct.
She went into deferred payments. Does that include the HOI and the property taxes? Because if HOI and property taxes haven't been paid,
do you
then
have do you have, Miss Cindy, do you have some value or do you have a specific question?
well, you said when you ask underwriters, accountants,
Right.
they wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
So
let's find out what I'm talking about first and then chime in. How's that?
I was listening to the whole thing.
Okay, I'm not done yet. Okay, Miss Cindy. Thank you. All right, so here's what we're talking about, folks. Okay, so here's where we are, Miss Victoria. If now you want to know when you pay extra, how much interest did you save? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you an example of that. All right. So as we're looking at, can you see the line principal and interest? Can you see that?
Yes, I can see it.
Great. Can you see cumulative principal and cumulative interest?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. So let's say that we make this first payment. Let's say it's in January. All right. So you give the bank their total payment of $570.71. That's just the principal and interest portion. Okay. And we give them that money in January. Do we owe any more money in January? We don't owe anything until February. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, by looking at this schedule, what is February's principal payment?
423.54.
No, February's principal payment. Look at so we start in January.
Mm-hmm.
February's principal payment.
One.
Yep, February's principal payment. Here's the principal column. What's February's principal payment only?
The 242.96.
If this is January, payment number 1 is January. Payment number 2 would be February, correct?
Correct.
What's February's principal payment?
So okay. According to what I'm looking at, $243.54.
There you go. That is the principal payment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now here's my next question. Based on what you know to be true, do you have to wait till February to give the bank that $243.54?
No.
No. Could you give it to them in January if you had it?
Yes.
Now, if you instruct the bank to give them that money, then you already know that you can instruct them to apply this to principal, correct?
That is correct.
Then you'd be paid down to line 2 in January, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Because they're going to subtract the 242.96. They're also going to subtract the 243.54 from what you owe because you gave that in January as well.
Okay.
All right. So now we're paid down to line 2 on your mortgage, on your amortization schedule. So your next mortgage payment for February is now on what line of this schedule?
Would it be line 3?
Exactly. You just got rid of line 2, not for the big money you're paying every month, but just for $243.54. What?
Okay.
And now you're on payment number 3, which is now February's new payment, correct?
That is correct.
So you're getting $244.12 and $326.59, correct?
That is correct.
All right. So What happened to the $327.17 on line 2? What happened to that?
Well, I would think that would go down because I've already paid the principal that's associated with that amount,
All
right?
right. So most people believe that it would go down. But would you be excited to know that it went away? You just canceled that interest. You never have to pay that ever. Remember when I was talking about what happens when you pay
Okay.
extra on your loan and you say that you know you're going to save interest and you know you're saving time?
Correct.
All right. By $243.54 just saved you how much time? Because payment number 1 now is touching payment number 3. Payment number 2 has just been eliminated with $243.54. Boom. That's time gone. One payment gone for $243. And how much money was saved? $327.17 in interest you never have to pay.
Okay.
Now, let's ask some questions around this. Go ahead with your questions. What are you feeling? What are you thinking?
Okay, so what happened to the 327.17? What happened to the interest? I mean, I just don't think it just disappeared.
Listen. Let me ask you this then, okay? Okay, you pay payment number 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're walking down the street and you say you're in what city?
Chicago.
Okay, because Illinois has a lottery, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Okay, you walking down the street and somebody lost their lottery ticket. And you pick it up and lo and behold, it's a winner. Ha! So now you say, well, I just paid my first mortgage payment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What if you decided you wanted to give the bank, so this is how much you owe now, $137,754.04. What if you decided, I'm just going to go ahead and pay the rest of this off? Just pay off the mortgage because I just won the lottery. You follow me?
Right.
What happened to what happened to all these interest payments then?
They disappear because I'm
What?
taking care of what.
If all of them can disappear, how come one of them can't disappear?
Okay.
Are you following me now?
Hey, I'm woke. I'm woke. I'm getting there.
Ah, there you go. There you go. There you go. All right. So here's what we're talking about, folks. If we go ahead and make that payment here, payment number 1, and we give them the extra $243.54. Now you're giving them about $600, aren't you?
Yes.
Ooh, I pay this mortgage here. I got 243, got 244. Well, let's just go ahead and give them the 3 principal payments. Okay? That's a little over $700. Right?
Okay.
How much interest am I getting rid of? What happens to the interest on line 2, 3, and 4?
Well, you said disappear, so that's over $1,200.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm about to jump out of my seat. What?
Yeah.
So now let's go back to the original question. You ready?
Yeah.
Your
Forbearance being rolled over and
no, I'm not there yet. I'm not. That's the good
Sorry.
part. That's the good part. Let's go back to the original question of what happens when you buy something on sale and why the department store prints that at the bottom of the receipt.
So you can know what you saved and feel better about yourself.
Why don't you think the bank tells you at the bottom of your receipt how much you save when you pay about $600?
Because they're losing money at that point.
If you knew that with a little over $700, you just knocked off over nearly $1,000 in interest. If you knew that, would you want to do it again?
Every chance I got.
Do you see why we don't know?
Okay. So let me ask you this question then. Am I doing it the correct way by doing it when I make the payment, or should I make the regular payment first and then send them another payment and say, apply it to the principal?
Now, here's the next question we're going to answer for you. Do you have a calculator handy?
Darn it.
How about your phone?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here's what we're talking about. Okay. You don't want to know just, am I saving money in interest? You want to know, am I saving the most money in interest?
Correct.
Ah, okay. Can we save the most money in interest? So here's what we're talking about. When you do something, you want to know, how much am I getting for my dollar? Okay.
Yep.
So now most people believe that anything I do to get out of debt is as good as any other thing that I do. I can pay this amount at this time and I will save interest. So if I paid an extra $600 on my mortgage, I can reduce my mortgage by $600 anytime, correct?
Correct.
Correct. So it doesn't matter when I pay the $600 if I'm focusing on lowering my principal by $600. It doesn't matter when I do it.
Okay.
Okay. But it does matter if I'm looking at how much interest I can eliminate. Okay. So your interest payments up here, starting at how much are your interest payments?
Interest payment number one was $327.75.
Okay. So what if you waited? Now, if you put an extra $600 on your mortgage this year, it's going to take $600 off. You put $600 on next year, it's going to take $600 off, correct?
Correct.
But can you save as much interest in
No.
year two? Why is that, sweetheart? Why is that?
Because I've already paid I've already started paying interest
Look at your
from the beginning.
Exactly. Look at your interest payments and going into year two. Look at the interest payments. Are they smaller?
Yes.
So it is impossible to save the same amount of interest in year two as you could in year one with the same amount of money.
Because I have more interest in the first year because the interest continues to go down. So,
right, because it continues to go down. So what if I wait to year three? The interest that I could save is even less.
Correct.
So it matters when you pay and how much you pay, because now we want to figure out how much interest am I saving per dollar. Does that matter?
Yes.
Here we go. All right. So here's the next thing. And please, when I show you this, Victoria, promise me one thing.
Yes.
You will not say any bad words.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. So at the end of 1 year, are you seeing this? At the end of 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of 1 year. All right. So here's what we're talking about. At the end of 1 year, how much principal will you pay down?
At the end of 1 year.
We're looking at line 12, and we're looking at the cumulative principal. How much principal do you pay down in 1 year?
So it would be the $29.53.91.
And how much interest does the bank want for all of that?
$389.
$3,000.
$38.94. Yeah.
That's a lot of interest just to pay your loan down by $2,900, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now let me ask you. You know that you've got to pay this money because you borrowed that money, correct?
That is correct.
Here's my next question. You know eventually you're going to pay $2,953.91. Do you have to pay it in 12 monthly installments?
No.
If you had it, could you give it to the bank in one installment on line one?
Yeah.
They would have to subtract it from what you owe, wouldn't they?
Okay.
You would be paid down to here in 1 month, down to line 12, wouldn't you?
Man, listen. Okay.
What? You could be paid down to there in 1 month with the same amount of money. And if you did that, Victoria, what happened to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
It would go away because it would be no interest. They wouldn't have anything to apply it to, right?
You know you're teaching this thing now. You are teaching this thing now, Miss Victoria. How about that? How do you like that? How do you like them apples?
Man, look, you're gonna have me call Wells Fargo.
So here's what we're talking about, Victoria. Here's what we're talking about. Okay. So to move this mortgage from point A to point B, Okay. To move this mortgage from point A to point B. All right. The bank wants to charge you $3,894.61. Okay.
Wow.
By giving them this money on line one, you're paid down to here in 1 month, which means all you have to give them is $327.75 to do the same thing with the same amount of money.
Ooh.
Which way is better?
Shoot.
Listen, if anybody who is in the audience that is a loan officer, a fiduciary of any kind, whether loan officer, whether they are, if you have anything to do with loans, if you have a question, now is the time to ask it. Now that I've gotten this information out here, I'll take your questions now so that we can tell Miss Victoria if she has just heard the truth or not. Okay. Anybody who wants to, just come on up to the stage. All right. So, Miss Victoria, are you okay now?
Man, listen, I'm about to cash app you, send you something, because what you just saved me. I could say Christmas may not have been canceled. I mean, I'm in awe.
So,
Like I said, I've heard you explain this to other people, but to actually see it with my numbers and kind of really look at this,
mhm.
wow, okay.
Do you think we can get your 10 years back?
That and then some.
So here's the last thing we want to show you: paying the right amount at the right time. Are you ready?
Okay.
Now that you've learned this and you know you could pay any amount that you want, let's say you have plenty of money in the bank. Okay. I got plenty of money in the bank, Don. And so we want to pay extra on the loan. What if we did this? I'm going to give you just two choices. You can prepay this amount, line 12, and save this and knock off 12 payments. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could do line 24, pay this amount and knock off this interest and knock off 24 payments. If you have plenty of money, which would be the best thing to do?
If I have it, I pay off line 24 to 59.
Why is that?
Because I'm saving more on interest.
Okay. Now let me show you. Let me show you why it is important to understand amortization. And here's what the banks don't want you to know. Paying the right amount of money at the right time is so very important to you. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell a little story. Every now and then, my wife makes zucchini bread, and when she does, she puts in golden raisins when she makes the zucchini bread. And, I kind of like the golden raisins. So she's getting everything ready, and then the oven is warming up, mixing up stuff, chopping up the zucchini and putting in the flour and everything. And she looks into the pantry, and guess what?
No golden raisins.
And who gets to go to the store?
You do.
Now, nobody ever gets that question wrong. See how good you are. You're teaching this class. Nobody ever gets that question wrong. So I'm heading out to the store. She says, "Don, bring me back 2 boxes." I know what brand to get. So I'm going to the store. I'm going to the aisle where the raisins are, and then I get confused because the raisins come in 2 separate sizes. It's a 12-ounce box and an 18-ounce box. 2 different prices. How do I know which one is the better value?
Okay. Usually you do it like what you end up paying per ounce or something like that, right?
Exactly. That's called unit cost. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that now. Looking at my raisins. And then on one shelf, it says these raisins are 3 cents an ounce at this price. These raisins are 6 cents an ounce at this price. If I can get the same raisins at 3 cents an ounce, should I ever pay 6 cents an ounce for those raisins?
No.
No. All right. So if I can prepay line 12, that means I'm saving this money, correct?
Correct.
If I divide this number into this number, will it tell me how much interest I'm saving per dollar?
Yes.
Ooh, isn't that the unit cost?
Okay.
Has anybody ever talked to you about unit cost when it comes to mortgages?
No.
Well, they should have. You know why? Because this helps us. And the reason why we're not being taught this is because all the pennies and dimes and dollars you leave behind, the bank picks up and multiplies that by several million customers. Wow. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Now, I love the bank. I'm not anti-bank. I love the bank. Why? Because we have 4 mortgages. Okay. But as of today, after this show, guess what? I'm only going to have 3. I'm making the final payment on one of those mortgages today. Hallelujah.
All right.
Paid it off early. Okay. So, but my wife is really excited about the fact that we're going to pay one of these mortgages off. So here's what I'm talking about. You ready? Watch this. So let's put into your calculator $3,894.61. Go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do it with you. Okay, so we're putting into our calculator. All right. Oh, let me just put it on the screen. That's even better. Okay, we'll put it on the screen. All right, and so we're putting on the screen $3,894.61. Okay, and then we're dividing it by $2,953.91. And how much are we saving per dollar?
Looks like $1.31.
Almost $1.32, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so now what you just found out is by giving the bank $1 on your mortgage, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $1.31 in interest, or almost $1.32 in interest. What? So for every dollar you give them, they can't charge you $1.31. So if you gave me $1 and I gave you back $1.31, how many times would you do that?
Every chance I had an extra dollar.
Do you know the bank has to do the exact same thing? It makes it impossible for them to charge you the $1.31. Now let's do line 24. Tell us what you get. Take the 7,703. We're going to do 7,703.93, and we're going to divide it by 59. Boop, boop, boop. Click on divide. 5993.11 equals what?
I got 128.
Okay, so here's my question. If I can save $1.31 per dollar, should I ever accept $1.28 per dollar?
No.
So it matters how much we pay and when we pay, doesn't it?
Yes.
Do you see why banks don't want us to know that? Because even if it's an extra 2 cents times several million customers, they're making a whole lot of money because we just don't know. And that's why I'm trying to tell you here that the situation you're in now is not your fault. It wasn't because you weren't paying attention in class, Victoria. It is because there was no class. But now all that's changed. You have a class now. So how would you like to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free?
I would love it.
How much interest you can save?
Are you going to tell me?
Yeah. And how you can take that saved interest and then show you how to use compound interest to get back all the interest you've ever paid in life and then some.
See, why they don't tell you this? They need like a class before you buy a house.
Listen, everybody on the stage is clapping their mic just because you said that, because you're so right. We're trying to make sure that happens. Okay? So listen,
we will be starting the overflow, trauma, healing, and celebration room shortly after this program. And all the ladies, we will have oil, we'll be laying on our hands, and we will be celebrating with Holy Ghost tambourines just because of Dawn. Thanks, Dawn.
Miss Victoria, thank you so very much. See, here's what you want to do. If you would go to ICE stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE10KLive.com. The link is right above our heads. ICE10KLive.com. And you'll see a button there that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Click on that button, follow the directions. Okay. And if you follow the directions exactly, that will let you into a form. You can put your financial data into that form. Someone from my office will call you back to verify your data, and we will arrange for you a consultation, and you will know the month, day, and year you will be debt free and how much interest you can save. And I guarantee you, you're going to get your 10 years back and then some.
Oh my God, you are God sent. Like, I'm like almost in tears right now because it's like to go into a new year with a plan and I feel so good about myself right now.
Well, listen, I am so glad that you came and brought your question to the stage.
And
The
she
people
was
are
persistent,
there
Don.
too.
I just wanted to share that as well. She was persistent. She came on Wednesday. We couldn't get to her, but she came back. I just wanted to applaud you as well, Victoria.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. It's like, I'm telling you, I needed to know this. Like I said, to hear it and then to actually see it is two different things. Like, I'm in awe. So, like I said, I appreciate you all. And this is like, man, this is the first positive thing I done got from Clubhouse. I'm just going to say that for the record.
Oh,
Everything
you know
else is
that's a
just
clip.
Everything else is just a mess. But this was worth getting up for. This is my first day of my vacation for the year, for the new year. And I appreciate you guys. This has really been awesome. I'm about to click on this link and just go into 2022 with some, goal to be debt free real soon. So I appreciate it.
Well, listen, we want to thank you so very much for bringing your question to the stage. You've helped a lot of people, and I'm looking forward to working with you in 2022. Thank you, Miss Victoria.
Thank you. And bless your team as well. Thank you so much, guys.
Bless the entire
And you'll
team.
never find us in a drama room. So make sure you follow us into these positive spaces that are going to get you what you need for 2022.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Jarrett, it's on you, my brother.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you are moved by Victoria's response, don't you want to provide that experience for the people that you care about in your network? Please click that plus sign if you're on Clubhouse. Invite people in the room. We got an hour left, and Don has some amazing examples to share. So you definitely want to make sure that you share this knowledge with as many people, because they do not teach you this before you buy a home. They do not teach mortgage brokers or real estate professionals this either. So if they haven't told you about this, they're not holding out on you. They just don't know what they don't know. So let's spread the word so more people can know. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, click that share option and invite as many people into the room so they can go into 2022 with this knowledge. And and also make sure you're following Don. Click on his profile on Clubhouse, give him a follow, and also click that always on bell next to the follow button. So anytime he hops on a real estate stage or a finance stage, you'll be alerted and you'll be able to get this information in real time on Clubhouse, because all of us on this stage, from Kenyatta, YCO, Aaron, and Kirk, we're all focused on how do we give back? How do we provide information that will actually impact people's lives in a positive way? So Victoria, we really appreciate your kind words and appreciate your persistence and coming up. All right. So
Jared,
I know that there's
Jared, before you go on, listen, folks, I want you to know that there was somebody who tried to ask a question in the middle of an example. We don't mind questions. We don't even mind being challenged, but you don't want to bring your challenge right in the middle of a question. Bring it at the end, then everybody can know what we're talking about, and then we can have a great conversation about it. We want everybody to ask their question, even if you're in the industry and you disagree with what we're talking about. Bring it to the stage. All we're asking is that we bring it at the appropriate time so that we can handle it appropriately. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. We got to make sure the example is completed all the way through, and then that might give you a complete perspective, and then we can get into it then. So hopefully she comes back and we can have that dialogue.
I would love to. I would love it.
Yep. But for now, we're going to focus on those that are on the stage. But I know Kirk says there's some follow-up questions on YouTube. So I'll yield to Kirk, and then Prince will go to you next.
Yeah. We have a lot of comments on YouTube. A lot of people chiming in. People are enjoying what is happening here. But Feek Miller is saying, what if you're in that example, Don? Feek was asking, all
Mhm.
right, so taking that large payment and putting it on, and then canceling out a year of your mortgage.
Mhm.
What if your insurance and taxes are included in your mortgage payment? Can you still drop a large payment? And his follow up was, are they going to take out the advance payment and put it towards taxes and insurance? How does that
Okay.
part of it get handled?
All right. Here. So if you are escrowing, meaning your taxes and insurance is part of your payment. Okay. So once you make that payment, all right, the money has already gone to taxes and insurance. So anything else you pay goes to principal. Anything else, so anything over and above your regular payment will include taxes and insurance, your principal, and your interest. That's your regular payment. Once you make the regular payment, then anything else, when you direct the bank, will go straight to principal for if you do it within that same month. All right. They will not charge you. You will not have to pay taxes and insurance again until the first of the following month. I hope that answers that question.
I think it does, Don, and I want to just thank you for taking the time to touch on that. I'm looking through
Yes.
the rest of our comments here. I don't see any questions, just really more so people responding, saying, "Man, that's a lot. That's huge. That's big." Somebody says, "Don dropping gems." Good stuff in here. People saying good morning from Decatur, different things like that. But Jarrett, we want to yield to Prince so that he can ask his question.
All right, Prince, thank you so much for coming to the stage. And yeah, let us know what your question is.
Excellent. I want to first say appreciate you all, man. I feel like every time I step in here, it's like a bunch of superheroes sharing their superpowers. Yeah.
All
No
right.
cap, man. No cap, man. You guys do a great job. And my question is more so around kind of what Victoria highlighted
Yes.
for her statement and kind of what you were getting into as it relates to financial trauma and what our community goes through, and just the importance of. I like how you were speaking to the fact that hey, it's not your fault, right? Like there are just things that all of us were purposely led to not know, and just the importance of laying that out and just providing perspective for a lot of us. That's the basis of my question.
Okay. That was more of a statement, but do you actually have a question?
Oh no, my question as it relates to like financial trauma, so you could kind of like dive deeper
Okay.
into that.
All right.
So
So,
as you that was very good
all right.
energy, and
All
know
right.
more about
Excellent. Financial trauma. All right. So here's the thing about financial trauma. We call it financial violence. And the problem with the way that this violence happens is that there's a point at which you can um, be violated, and it doesn't even feel like violence after a while. You just accept it. You get used to a certain treatment, and you just accept it. In fact, you can get so used to ill treatment that when it doesn't happen anymore, it feels wrong. All right. So there is a syndrome, and I can't think of the name right now, but it's Scandinavian. There's a syndrome that they discovered it when people are kidnapped, and I can't think of the name. If somebody can tell us what
Stockholm.
Stockholm syndrome. Okay, Stockholm syndrome talks about when somebody is kidnapped. After a while, they begin to identify with their kidnappers and espousing what they believe, and somehow they said, they justify the kidnappers kidnapping them. They begin to identify with the criminals. So here's what I'm trying to tell you, folks. It can get so severe that when the authorities find out where the captive is, the captive will fight the authorities to prevent their own rescue. And it happens here too. There are people that once you get used to paying your money this way, you can get so used to it to find out that now you don't have to do it, and that the difference is so stark, it's so great, it's so magnificent how much money you don't have to pay them. It feels wrong. And some people will argue you down in favor of the bank so they can continue to get their money. So, is that what you're talking about, my brother?
Yes, sir, man. That definitely resonated with me, man, because I'm just noticing just that loop, that reoccurring. How do you explain that reoccurring way
Cycle.
treatment? Yeah, cycle is the word. Thank you, brother. It's treatment, just mistreatment, and it is just so normal now, man, that we don't even know how to fight against these people. You know, we're calling the banks. You know, they'll say they need to go do a fraud specialist when they need to really fraud specialist themselves. You know, they need to actually right. Like it's funny is and I know that I noticed this too. The other thing I noticed they do is they separate themselves into multiple departments. So you have the credit card department dealing with the auto loans, deals with the real estate. So none of them know what is going or they make sure none of the sales agents know what's going on in the other departments.
Right.
And so that's also another way they commit fraud.
So here's the thing, brother. Here's what I'm trying to say. Number one, it's not fraud. Okay, fraud is a legal term. Okay, so there are some things that are very legal. They may not be moral, but they are legal. So if they are doing it, I guarantee you that it is legal and it is not fraud. So here's my thing. We are not anti-bank, but we are pro-education. So if you have the bank on one side, you got the consumer on the other side, and if the consumer is educated, now we can go to the bank and make a deal that benefits us instead of the bank. And because the rules don't change, we can walk out smelling like a rose. I love borrowing the bank's money. I love getting it at a discount. I love getting their money at 75% off. And because I'm still going to buy what I buy. I will still be able to buy the same $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house, but I can get it at 75% off of the interest cost. Oh my goodness. I love the bank. I just don't want to pay them all that money. All right, Prince, I hope that helps.
I like that. I like how you frame that morality and legality. You doesn't have to separate the two.
Exactly. All right, what's next? Jared. Oh, I'm sorry, Prince. I didn't I didn't even ask you if you were done, but I guess he was. All right, Jared, back to you.
All right. So if you have any questions, Omika and via Polite, you saw your hands are raised. We try to invite you up, but for whatever reason, you can't get on stage. But if you can accept the invitation, then we'd be happy to answer your question. But yeah, we have about 50 minutes left. So if anybody has a question, there they go. All right, great. So we got Omika, then we're gonna go with via Polite.
All right.
So and real quick, Don, can you just remind people if they want to get in contact with you, how they would do so?
Okay, if you want to get in contact with us, right above our heads, there's our link. It's ice10klive.com, ice10klive.com. Find the button that says get a savings and earnings report. Follow all of the directions, and that way we'll let you into the financial form, put in your financial information. Someone from my staff will. Oh, and I just want to say right now, I forgot to mention, most of our staff is out sick. I mean, COVID is raging. Most of our staff is out sick. It's going to take us some time to get to all of your submissions. Please give us the time. We promise we will get to you. But because of our staff being out sick, it's going to take us a little bit longer. And I also ask for your prayers for the healing of everybody that is working with us. So I appreciate your prayers in that. So here's what happens, folks. Once we're back to full strength, we're going to be able to look at your information, verify that information that you send to us. Someone will call you and then set up a a consultation, and then you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save. And we're going to show you how to take that savings and interest and turn it into generational wealth. I also want to point out that we have a book, and with that book, this is the last show of the year. All right, if you get that book today, all right, not only will you get a 10K card, so on the same button, not only will you get a 10K card, all right, but you will also be able to get, if you send us your address as well. If you buy the book today and only today, and you send us your address, we will also, because you got to get it from Amazon, we'll also send you out another book signed by me. Okay, so for every book you buy, you will get a 10K card, a digital business card to give out to others. Okay, for every book you buy, you'll get a 10K card. But for everybody who sends us their address, and I will send you personally from me, I will send you another book signed by me. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 sale. How do you like that? At the end of the year, plus a 10K card for every book that you buy, so that not only can you give somebody a book, you can give them a business card, a digital business card that goes along with it. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
Yep. And so how you do that is I'll give that to Kenyatta. Let people know how they will receive their 10K card.
Yes.
Okay, you guys. So you want to screenshot that receipt of your book and then go to ice10klive.com and upload it where it says I'm ready. It'll be the second down on the left-hand side. It'll say I'm ready. Go ahead, click that link, upload your receipt, and then build out your card to your specifications, letting us know your social media outlets and whatever else you would like for people to know about you. And then designate a place for us to send it. And 10K and his team, along with us, will send it to you in an hour or under, and you'll have a 10K card valued at $100.
All right. So with that being said, we got Omika up next. And I really highly encourage everybody, click that plus sign on Clubhouse, invite people in the room. And if you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, click that share option so that they can experience the next 45 minutes. And if you're in this room and you want to see this example live on a screen with the charts and the calculations, you can go to your laptop or iPad and type in ice10klive.com and then choose either YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, and you'll be able to see Don go through the examples while you're still in Clubhouse. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Amika. Please let us know what your question is.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Finding you, and thanks for allowing me this opportunity to get up here and ask this question. Well, I received my book yesterday, and I finished it yesterday.
Oh boy.
And I saw that you kept speaking of the what was it? Was it occupational?
The
No.
OCC.
OCC, yes.
Opportunity cost calculator.
Opportunity cost, yes. How do we gain access to that calculator? Because I don't know, I'm just ready to kind of try to dive in and see how everything works.
Okay, so here's how you gain access to the calculator. All right.
Okay.
So while we're answering that question, I'm also going to be putting it up on the screen. And
Okay.
were you able? Did you see the link that we have in the book that kind of gives you a 23-minute overview of the calculator? Have you seen it yet?
I haven't.
Okay, well, the link is in there, but you can go to YouTube and put in opportunity cost calculator, and it will come up. Okay.
Okay.
So we're not showing that part yet.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take that off the screen right now, and then once I get the calculator up, we'll put that on. All right. So now what we're going to do. So what you do is once you find out how much interest you save, okay, and when you're going to be out of debt, we're going to tell you. Then you'll say, okay, I'm going to save this much interest on this thing. Then we'll tell you how much the fee is for our service, which is a lifetime service.
Okay.
And that's how you get access to it. So it's okay, I'm going to save $150,000 and of interest I don't have to pay. And we get a small percentage of the interest savings that pays
Okay.
for the program. And you say, what? Are you kidding me? Is that all they're charging?
Right.
All right. And then, and not only that, but once you get the program, we have people who bought the program a few years ago. I'll give you just one example. A person who got the program in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They didn't just pay off one mortgage or two or three. They're getting ready to pay off their fourth mortgage with the same program, and they haven't paid us another dime after that. It's a lifetime program. It just keeps paying for itself and paying for itself. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put, I'm going to put put this on the screen. And as soon as it comes up, we'll be able to show you what that's looking like, so people can see what the program actually looks like. And I'm telling you, as far as technology is concerned, every home will have one of these of some type. It's called an interest cancellation. It's called opportunity cost calculator, so that you can know what is the best way to spend your money so you can get the biggest bang for your buck. This is it. All right.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions for us?
Okay. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for coming up and asking that question. I'm sure that was helpful for a lot of the folks in the audience. And also thank you for purchasing the book. And yeah, leave a review on Amazon and let people know how much you enjoyed it. All right. Up next, we got Via Polite. Thank you so much for coming to the stage. Please let us know what your question is.
Okay, this is my first time asking any questions, but I've been about a 6-month listener. My concern is the amortization you spoke of is all about people with a home. What about rental property? Would you advise them to pay interest up front or no?
Oh, you mean people who own rental property?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. All right. I'm going to change this. You listen, but Via, before I answer this question, you need to tell me, do we know each other?
Say it again.
Do we know each other? I need people to know that we don't know each other and that I didn't pay you to ask this question.
No, I don't know you.
Okay.
Would like to know you, but no.
So here we go. So we're going to go in here and I'm going to reset this account. Okay.
Okay.
And because it takes a while to load, we're going to load in multiple properties into because I've got these things all set up ahead of time. I'm loading in 10 properties plus a HELOC into this thing. Okay. So are you a real estate investor?
No, I just dib and dab to try to offset my retirement.
Listen, it's not, listen, if you are making money, you're not dibbling and dabbling. You are a real estate investor. Name it and claim it, sister. Name it and claim it right now. Okay. All right. Don't listen. You're a real estate investor. And not only that, but you're going to grow your portfolio. All right. So here's the situation. So we've got, I can take you over to accounts where you can see how many mortgages we have in here. So we're going to go in here and we're going to take a quick look.
I'm not computer savvy, so I'm actually just listening while I was working in my yard.
That's quite all right, but you can go to YouTube and watch it over again because
perfect.
All right. So what's great about this is that it's actually we're doing this live on your favorite video platform, and then you'll be able to go back and watch it. So here's what we're pointing out. So I've got, you see, we got first mortgage, we got the second, we got the third, we got the fourth, we got the fifth, we got the sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth mortgage, and 10 is a HELOC. So it's actually, and HELOC is just a second mortgage on one of the houses. So it's 10 mortgages all together here. All right. And so what we're seeing is that and I can take a look at changing one of these windows, and in this window, I can change this to how much principal remaining, how much do we owe on these mortgages when we add them all together. Okay, $2,947,500. $2 million in mortgages here. Okay, I can also see how much interest that I will save on these mortgages. I'm going over here to the interest saved portion. It says I can save the interest that the bank wants me to pay, $1,446,339 in interest I will not pay. How would you like those apples?
I would love it.
Okay, we've got 10 mortgages in here. Okay, and in 10 mortgages, we want to pay off $2,947,000 and pay it off in just 20 years. So you would think 10 mortgages times 30 years. Well, that's 300 years. We can pay off 10 mortgages in 20 years. Now, let me give you a quick example of what we're doing here. The program takes in the monies from the rentals, all the monies that are coming in, and then the program will then tell you how much money to put on the loan, but it'll tell you which loan to attack. All right, watch this. So we're starting out in October on this. All right, so we've got rental property. Okay, all right, all right. So we've got our rental income of $15,000. And then we've got the mortgage payment for number 8, number 6, number 3, number 2, number 4, number 1. Our HELOC payment, mortgage number 5 is paid, mortgage number 9 is paid. So we've got all of that coming in. And this particular person not only has income from the rental properties, but also has income from a W-2 job, and they also get bonuses. So they put all of that in. So now we start out in October, and we're just making minimum payments to the mortgage. Okay. And then when you see these little arrows here, the program is telling you how much to put in savings. In this case, the first time we see these arrows here in the middle, it says put $326.46 in savings. That's in October. When we get into November, the program says, okay, after you receive the rent, put some additional money in savings, $1,900, almost $2,000 in savings, then another $7,449 in savings, and then it says pay the HELOC off to zero. Boom, pay the HELOC off. Okay, when you pay that HELOC off to zero, the program will then figure out, well, you're supposed to pay that the way we wanted you to, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. By paying that HELOC off to zero the way you did, you just saved $9,998.34 in interest that you'll never have to pay because you followed our program by paying off the HELOC the way we said. Now watch what happens here. We've got 9 other mortgages, right? So we don't spread out our money over all of the mortgages. The program zeroes in and focuses in on one where you could save the most amount of money. And even though we have a lot of money to work with, the program says take only $3,988.21 and apply it to mortgage number 9. We're going to make the minimum payment on 8, 6, all the rest of them, just the minimum payment on the rest of them. But we're going to make our minimum payment on mortgage number 9 and then extra $3,988.21 on mortgage number 9. And then when we do that, watch this. The reason why the program said pick this amount and put it on there is by putting this on here. Now, this is going to be crazy. By doing this, just less than $4,000, we're going to save $46,416.20 in interest we'll never have to pay the bank.
Wow.
I want to make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about. The way that this rental property is set up on a 30-year loan, to pay this loan down by $3,988.21, doing it the bank's way you would also have to pay them $46,416.20 in interest. I'm so glad that you asked that, because most people don't see this. Because if they're making money on their rental property if they're making money on their rental property, they just, listen, I get the rent, I pay the mortgages, I keep the difference. We're making money, correct? Is that how we look at it, Ms. Villa?
That's correct.
Okay, so if we're looking at it that way, we're not paying attention to how much interest we're actually paying to cash flow that kind of money. But what if we paid attention to that as well? We could save a lot of additional monies in interest that we count as paying that money as the cost of doing business. You do not have to pay all of that interest. Now, why is that so important? We're going to take a look at mortgage number 9. We're going to go into accounts and take a look at mortgage number 9. I'm going to show you some insights to this. So once we go down there, we're going to find mortgage number 9. Okay, that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Here it is. Mortgage number 9. We're going to open it up and take a look at that. Mortgage number 9. We owe. All right. How much do we owe on mortgage number 9? $487,000 at 6.5% interest rate. Okay, $487,000 at 6.5 interest rate. So I want to show you something right here. We're going to go to this 487,000. We're going to put that in. 487,000. Okay, at 6.5 interest rate, 30 years. We're going to come up with the same payment. $3,078.17. On the very first payment, watch this. Look how much goes to principal, $440.25. Look how much goes to interest, $2,637.92. In the very first year of this mortgage, if we pay it down the way the bank says, making your minimum payment for 1 year, you will pay this mortgage down by $5,443.33, and you'll pay $31,494.71 in interest.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
This is a real estate investor that's making plenty of money, because on the rent that they're charging on this is more than the payment for the mortgage. Okay? So this is a multi-family building here. So they're charging a lot more than the $3,000, and they're making money. But what they're not looking at is, I just paid out in the first year, I just paid out like almost $37,000 paid out in the first year just to get $5,400 in equity. So
Wow.
if we prepay this $5,000, we don't have to pay the 31 grand that goes along with it. Come on, real estate investors. It's time for us to stop leaving money on the table. So when we go back to the program. Okay, go back to the program. All right, back to the program. We're looking at making that very first payment, going back to the action plan. I got 2 things to show you here. We're going back to the action plan to see again how much the program says to prepay. When we prepay on that, we're prepaying $3,988.21. We're going to save 46 grand in interest. That is what we're talking about. And I just showed you on an amortization schedule why that is true.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So yes, if you're a real estate investor, now here's what I tell most real estate investors: where are we going to get that money down? Because I want to take the money that I'm making and I want to invest it in other properties. I don't want to use it to pay down the loans. And I'm saying, please don't do that. Don't use that money you need to invest to pay down the loan. If you're a real estate investor, you keep a little cash in reserve just in case something goes wrong. Correct, Miss Via?
That's correct.
So I have a real estate investor that has about 60 grand because of all the properties that they have. They have about 60 grand in reserve. I said, in this case, could we, out of your 60 grand, could we borrow $3,988.21 out of the 60 grand you have sitting in the bank in reserve, making 1/10 of 1% in a savings account? 1/10 of 1%. Okay. Take 3988 out of that savings account, pay it. We're advancing it to the mortgage because it's not new money, it's the same money. Advance it to the mortgage, and then over the next 2 or 3 months, pay yourself back the $4,000 that you would normally put into the reserve fund anyway. And after you pay yourself back after about 4 months, could you do it again, Miss Via?
Yes.
And then again, and then again. And so we're killing all these mortgages, saving hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in interest in this case. And we'll be able to buy all of these properties for wait a second. So interest. So we're gonna say $1,446,339 less we have to pay, because here's what you need to know. When you borrow money to pay for a house, it is not just the house you're paying for, it is the interest on the money you buy the house with. So you have to total the amount here. And so on this house, God, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Let me get rid of this. Okay. All right. So on the total amount on this one, on $487,000, the bank wants $621,141.20 in interest on a $487,000 loan. That means the bank wants way more in interest than you borrowed in principal. So your total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 127.544%. That's why. That part. That's what we're avoiding here. So, folks, going into this next year, okay? Going into this next year, all of this started in 1934. Going into this next year, this system of paying back loans will be 88 years old. 88 years old. And for 88 years, my father didn't know, his father didn't know, his father didn't know how all of this works. So how could we have passed it down? How could we have passed that information down when nobody knows?
That's right.
This is why we are here, so that we can break an 88-year-old curse of financial violence by the new financial literacy. Let's get out of the financial matrix, the money matrix, take the red pill. Let's see how deep this rabbit hole goes. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right, Ms. Via, thank you for your question. Do you have anything else for us?
Now, also,
Yes.
so if you purchasing houses, do you advise to do 15, 20, or 30 year?
Oh my goodness. Please reiterate. Promise the folks that I didn't pay you to ask that question. Never, ever, 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 ever get anything other than a 30-year loan unless you can get a 40.
Oh, wow.
Get a 30 or a 40. Never get a 15.
Why is that?
Oh boy, here you go. Listen, I promise you, folks, I'm not paying her to ask these questions. So here, on this loan right here, okay? So we can find out, if you wanted to know if this was a 15-year loan, okay? And let's say you could afford to pay the 15-year payment on this loan. So you would just change this number to 180, okay? The payment would be, instead of $3,078.17, I'm gonna make a note here, $30,78.17, okay? the payment would be for a 15-year note, the payment would be 42.29. Okay, that would be the 15-year payment, 42.29. So Miss Via, if I knew going in that on a 30-year note I could pay $3,078.17, and on a 15-year note I would be paying 42.29, could I get a 30-year mortgage and still pay 42.29? I could still pay the 15-year note payment. Could I do that?
Yes.
You don't need permission to have a 15-year mortgage.
Okay.
You can just start paying the 15-year payment if you want to.
Would you save more on interest doing it that route?
Well, that's a longer story, but the answer is if you have a 30-year loan, and it takes some time to show you this, you really will have to get a consultation. But once we show you that if you got a 30-year loan and you make the 15-year payment, it is actually slightly better. You're slightly better off than getting the 15-year mortgage. It's how amortization works. It's crazy what amortization does to these loans, but you would really come out better making the 15-year payment. But if that's all you knew, but guess what? If you have the P.I.L.L method, most of the time you're just going to make the minimum payment. The program tells you when to pay extra. We don't give you an arbitrary number and say pay this amount every month. You're only going to pay a certain amount of money in certain months. So at certain times during the year, the program will tell you how much you have stored up in savings and tell you how much of that money in savings that you should apply to whatever mortgage and how much interest you're going to save. The rest of the time, you're just making minimum payments on everything.
Okay.
So this is why we never get a 15-year mortgage, because here's the next question that's really going to help you to understand it all. Because banks offer 15-year mortgages, correct? And
Say it again now.
banks offer 15-year mortgages
That's correct.
and 20-year and 25-year mortgages, correct?
Correct.
So that we can save money, right?
I thought so.
Okay, you thought so, exactly. Now you're coming up with the right answers. Because if you're saving money because of a 15-year note, then who would have to be losing money?
Okay.
I'm telling you, the bank does not lose money on any of these. You just have to know where they're making money as to why they're offering it. And going into the last thing, going into this next year, folks, if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, setting up the mortgage is more than half the battle. Setting it up correctly. What should the interest rate be? What should the term be? Should I be, how can I avoid paying PMI? Should I avoid paying PMI? What loan should I get? What loan product should I use? See, here's what happens, folks. When we go get a loan, we get all of our information, all of our education from the person selling us the loan. That's a good place to get your information on the best way to handle a loan for you is to get your information from the person that is selling you the loan. The information that you're receiving is not the best information for you. It could be good information, but I guarantee you it is not the best information for you because that's not why they're in business. They're in business to make money. Correct?
Correct.
So you need somebody that's going to advocate for you to help you to set up your mortgage in the correct way. Now that it's set up in the correct way, now we can go ahead and optimize your interest savings and save even more money because now your mortgage is set up the correct way. So even if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, you want to talk to the P.I.L.L method, so that we can help you to set up your mortgage correctly, getting the right mortgage product. Okay, there is a book right now, and I can't think of the name of the book right now, but it's on what is it called? What's the science of I can't think of it right now, but I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, here's the book is talking about how difficult it is to come up with all the right pieces for a particular loan for an individual at a certain instance. So they did a study and had several loan officers in a classroom, and it says, okay, here's your situation. What is the best loan situation for this avatar, for this particular person? Do you know they had so many different ideas? It is practically impossible to look at all the variables and come up with the right situation for you unless someone is plugging all these numbers into a computer so that you can know what is the best thing to do. It is not one thing or two things or three things we have to worry about. If you have 5 variables to consider, that's 120 different things you can do, and only one of them is optimum. If you have 5 different variables to consider. If you have 10 variables to consider, now that's 3.68 million different things you have to consider. Folks, what I'm trying to tell you is we've been told that this thing is a simple process. Come on in, fill out your application, and we'll get you a loan. Oh, no. No. It is way more complicated than that. It is. So the truth of the matter is it is a lot of work that goes into getting the right loan product. It's even more work to figure out the right amount to pay and when to pay. Our computers do it all and make it easy. All right, Ms. Via, anything else?
No, that will be it. Thank you.
All right, folks, you know what to do. You can go to ice10klive.com, click on that button that says get a savings and earnings report. Not only will we tell you the month, day, and year you can be debt free, we can even help you to determine which loan product to get for your mortgage. Thank you, Ms. Via. All right, Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. So, hey, everybody in the room, make sure that you click on Don's profile and give him a follow. Make sure you click that always on notification, and make sure that you go into 2022 as a member of the P.I.L.L Method Club. So click that greenhouse at the top. Make sure you're following the club. And I highly recommend that you follow Kenyatta, YCEO, Aaron, Kurt, Bam, and Credit Goddess. Thanks for popping in. And we have 17 minutes left. So if you have a question, we can squeeze you in. And if there are no questions left, and Don, we can end with an example that you think people should really understand and know going into 2022. If you have a question, feel free to raise your hand. Or if Kirk, if there's any questions on the streaming platforms, we can go to them. Otherwise, we can let Don close us out with a last example. Or I see a hand raised.
Go ahead, Jared.
But Kirk, go for it. While we
no, we don't have a question for Don per se, but one of our guests online has purchased the book, and they went through the process to get the 10K card. We just want to say congratulations to you. Now he's asking, what does it do? I've received my card. What does it do? And we just wanted to let you know, we are right at the close of the room today. We're probably going to have 10K come back and chat a little bit about the 10K card. So just hang on in there. We'll definitely get to you. I'm using my 10K card to, just like you see on the screen, Jared's 10K card, 10K card link is on the screen right now. I'm using my 10K card as my digital hub for all the things that are for me. I mean, anything that you want to find or follow, or courses you want to purchase, everything that I have, I put it in my 10K card. Same thing for Don, same thing for everybody that's on the stage right now. So it's a great resource valued at $100. I think that valuation probably needs to change in 2022. So definitely something you will want to set up and start putting out there, start using for yourself. So I just wanted to say that, Jared, but if you have a hand on the stage, we're going to yield to you.
Well, listen, I want to go. If you click on, if you're online on, you can go to ice10klive.com. By doing that, you will also see everything that I have here. All right. So just for instance, you can set this up any way you want. The way I have it set up now is to get the book. You can get a savings and earnings report. And guess what? We're going to be in Miami doing the Get Access tour in Miami. And the Get Access tour is you can get access to a lot of talent in the mortgage industry, um, credit industry, business credit, lending. There's going to be a myriad of individuals there that are going to be talking about real estate in all of its facets. Okay, and so by I have that card on, I have that link on there. By clicking on that, it will take you to another website where you can get tickets for the Get Access Tour. So you can set up your card to it's a hub that can take you to many different things that you have going on, but it's all in one place instead of saying go to this website or go to that website, go to my social my Twitter or go to my Facebook. You can have everything in one place. That's what this card does. And just by plugging that in, you can click on the Get Access Tour and get your tickets for $3.99 and meet us in Miami. All your information on where we're going to be in the 7th and 8th of January is right there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a few of the things that can be done with your 10K card. All right.
Let me help you out there, Don.
Go right
You
ahead.
know, over at the YCO, we've actually partnered with 10K Cards, and we're bringing you some amazing products. And we've already launched them. Our metal cards have launched, and our NFC cards have launched, and that is brought to you courtesy of me, the YCEO, and our collaboration with 10K Cards. Now, what 10K Cards does for you is it allows you to actually show the world who you are and all of your facets. You might have 3 different businesses, but you can only display one at a time to those who you're talking to, because if you display all 3, they were going to think you're not an expert. But we know as serial entrepreneurs, we can do a myriad of things. And most millionaires have 5 different streams of income, and that usually means 5 different companies. But what I can say to you is it allows you to organize your thought processes in your businesses, because you can lay out your branding, your website, all your social media links, and you can direct people to where you want them to go. You can also put forms on there and have people to give you information and a pass through. That's what I do with my card. So if there's a property or development you might be want to refer to me, then you can fill out that form right there on the card. It really is like almost like a website in your pocket. It's pretty phenomenal. And that's one of the reasons that at the YCO we partner with 10K Cards, because I was blown away when I came onto Clubhouse and saw the 10K card. So I just wanted to help you out there just a little bit, because I do have a lot more inside information about 10K cards, and it is absolutely phenomenal. So guys, make sure you tap in. And yes, on the website, it is more than $100. So you just might want to tap in while you're here.
Thank you, YCEO. Thank you so very much. Jared, back to you, sir.
Sorry, Clubhouse got stuck on me.
Okay. Kenyatta, you had something?
I just wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
I wanted you to mention to the good people how many books cover the subject that you're covering right now. I was just hoping you can let them know.
Well,
and after that, we'll get to Ashika. Thank you so much for coming on stage.
All right. After you take a look at Amazon, there are 33 million titles on Amazon. And how many of those titles talk about understanding amortization and how to defeat it? Only one book. That's the P.I.L.L Method, a better way to eliminate debt. Kenyatta, thank you so much for that. All right, Jared. If you're speaking, you're on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Back channel, I got stuck there on the screen. But Ashika, please ask your question, and then we'll close out. So Ashika, you got it.
Okay. Thank you. How you doing?
Just fine, Ashika. How are you today?
I'm doing great. I just wanted to ask you a question. I know that they always say get the best credits. I mean, interest rate. Is
Mhm.
that a factor with this method? Does it matter if you're a 4th and a 6th? Because I seen you do I was on Wednesday.
Yes.
So I saw how you did it with an interest rate of 6.0. I just want to know if I'm trying to look for interest rate to make this opportunity better or get the best bang out of it, which one would you recommend?
Miss Ashika, I love that question. That is, I'm telling you, I've got a bunch of favorites, but this is great. All right, so here's the thing: you do not want to get the lowest interest rate available. You want the right interest rate for you, and we can help you to determine that. So here's why: the lower the interest rate, the harder it is to pay the loan off early. The lower the interest rate, the harder it is to pay the loan off early. So what we have here, I'm going to put two things on the screen. All right. And let me see here. Okay, boom. We're going to duplicate this tab. All right. So we've got 6% here on this loan. It's $350,000 loan at 6%. Payment is $2,098.43. And then we have the same loan at 3.5%. The payment is $1,051.66. So let's take a look at the 6% loan. Take a look at the very first payment. We have $348.43 going to principal, $1,750 going to interest. On the next line, $350 going to principal. So if we were going to prepay this loan, if January's payment is here and we wanted to prepay the principal payment from line 2, it would cost us $350 extra applied to this loan and saves us one payment, knocks that out, and saves us the interest on that line. Okay, $350. All right, that's at 6%. Watch what happens when we lower the interest to 3.5%. Now, to eliminate one line, I have to come up with $552 to eliminate one line and the interest on that line. So is it easier to come up with an extra 350 or an extra 550? Miss Ashika?
It's it's easier to get the 350 than the 550.
Exactly. So what we want to make sure that when we're talking about your particular finances, all right, and how much you're making and how much is left over after all your bills are paid, that will help us to determine what is the right interest rate for you. Okay. Everything that is designed to save us money that comes from the banking industry is designed to make them money. Everything that is designed that looks like it's saving us money, be careful. Because why would they do that?
Right.
Okay. So like I said, again, I'm not anti-bank. I'm just saying, let's go into this thing with eyes wide open, know how to negotiate for ourselves, know what's really going on, and say, just because I'm offering you a lower interest rate doesn't mean I'm putting you in a better financial position. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for your question. All right. Well, hand raising is off. I take it.
Yeah, it looks like we're done for the day. So,
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got one more. I promised people that I would tell them why an interest only loan is a great loan and how the bank gets them to pay all of that interest. Here's one thing that most people are unaware of. Okay. When you're paying an interest only loan, when you have a $350,000 loan at 3.5%, the very first interest payment is $1,020.83. Okay. That would be on this loan. That would be here. The interest only payment, we can see that here in the summary. The interest only payment would be $1,020.83. Is everybody seeing that? Here's what you don't know. On $350,000 for 30 years, okay? Watch this. I'm going to change the interest. I'm going to change the interest rate. Bum, ba-da-dum. Okay, $350,000. Okay, $350,000. All right, 1750. Okay. All right. We're going to keep the interest rate the same, 350,000. Okay. We're going to keep the interest rate the same, but we're going to change the principal amount. Any loan at 3.5%. Okay. So we've got 350,000 at 3.5. Our first interest payment is $1,020.83. So I'm going to change this to 450,000. The payment changes, but the first interest payment, okay, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Okay, 450,000, 3.5, and interest only is 1312. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so wait, so hold on for a second. Okay, 450,000, 350,000. Okay, I've got to find out how this works. 1020. So, okay, we got that. 3.5. Come on. Now my computer's frozen. I'm so sorry, folks. 454. And okay, shoot. I had this all worked out for you guys. Okay, so 350,000 and got 30 years. Let's do 4%, 350. And that would be 1166. So we're going to do 300 months. It's 1166. So we do 350,000 at 4% at 300 months is still 1166. So if we did it for 180 months, that's 15 years. Calculate it again. It's still, the first interest payment is $1,166.67. The interest payment does not change, even if we change the number of months. If we change it to 10 years, 120 payments, and calculate it again, the first payment is still the same, $1,166.67. So let's go over an interest rate, and we're going to put in 360 payments. Okay, so if we do it at 360, here's the amortization, is a 360 amortization. And now at 4%, it's still $1,166.67. If you're making the interest only payment, that's all you pay. The principal does not go down. Okay, 10 years later, you have 10 years worth of interest payments, but your principal payment would be the same. Why is an interest only payment valuable? Because you are in complete charge of how much, after you pay the interest payment, you're complete charge of putting money on principal. And here's the great thing about an interest only payment. When you put money on principal and you have an interest only payment, let's say you put $5,000 on here. All right. So we put $5,000 on. That would take us down to okay, 30, 45. 345,000. Okay. Watch what happens to our payment, because we're at 1670. When you have an interest only payment, your payment is based on how much you still owe. As you pay the loan down, your payment changes. Okay. Let's say we paid it down to 340,000 by putting extra on principal. 340,000. All right. Now our payment is 1647.08. Now our payment is 1623.21, because on an interest only payment, our payment is based on how much we owe. So you can attack this thing tremendously with a lot of money. So if we were to put on this much money on this loan, $5,987.50, we knock off about $13,000 in interest. That's why an interest only loan is one of the best loans out there. It's not the best loan if you only pay the interest payment. It is the greatest loan if you strategically pay down principal along the way. And we can help you to do that. Okay. So remember, on when you're making a payment on a loan at the certain principal amount, at the same interest rate, it doesn't matter how many payments you have. The principal payment is always the first interest payment is always the same. It's always the same number. Now, let's figure out in the last couple of minutes here, how does the bank figure out on a 360 payment loan, how is it going to get us to pay 71%? Here's what we're looking at. I'm going to put a calculator on the screen. So now you can see how they do that. So we're going to blow this up just a little bit. And there we go. And make it just a little bit bigger. All right, so we'll put the calculator on. How do they do that? So we have an interest rate of 4%. Okay. And because of that, we're making our first interest payment is 1133.33. Our next interest payment on this loan is 1,131.70. How does the bank figure that out? So we take our 4% interest and put it in as a decimal. That's 0.04. We divide that number by 12. Okay, it is 0.003s and a bunch of threes. Okay, so we take 1/12 of the interest rate, multiply it by the unpaid balance, and in this case, it is the $339,510.12. We're going to multiply that by $339,510.12. See what we get. We get $1,131.70. That's how they do it. They take 1/12 of your interest rate and multiply it by the unpaid balance 360 times. So it's not one mortgage, it's 360 separate mortgages. So folks, as we go into this next new year, if you want to know the best way to handle not only your mortgage, but your student loans and your credit cards to save the maximum amount of money that's mathematically possible for you, contact us at the P.I.L.L Method. Let's go into the next year. Let's break this 88-year cycle of not knowing how all of this works. Let's end financial violence in this next year. And you can help by spreading the word. Share this content, whether on Clubhouse or on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Get the information out so people can know. Jared, back to you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much for that last example. So, if you are in this room, make sure that you're clicking the greenhouse and following this club, as well as make sure you follow Don and click that always on option next to the follow button on that bell so that anytime he comes on stage, you will be alerted. So, we're going to go ahead and close out the room with some moderator outros. But before we do, Don, I would like for you to remind people how they can get in touch with you, how they can share this information via your book, and then also what is in your avatar in terms of the Get Access tour.
All right, here's what we're talking about, folks. Number one, you want to go to ice10klive.com and click on the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Follow all of the directions and fill out the financial form. Once you fill out that form, someone from my office will get a hold of you and verify that information. Right now, most everybody in in our company is sick, so it's going to take us some time to get to you. All right, but please have some patience. Once we do that, you will set up a consultation with you, and then you will know the month, day, and year you will be debt free, how much interest you can save, and how you can take that interest savings and turn it into generational wealth. Also, on the same card, get a book. Get my book, the only book out of 33 million titles that talks about how to read and understand an amortization schedule, and also how to defeat an amortization schedule so you can save the most amount of money that is mathematically possible. All right. And then Kenyatta will tell you how you can get a 10K card to go along with each book purchase.
So now you did the best thing and you purchased the book. What you want to do is screenshot the receipt and upload it to ice10klive.com where it says, I'm ready. Where it says I'm ready is where you're gonna build out your card. You're gonna give us your social media outlets and your email address, number, etc. And you're gonna let us know where you would like this card to be dropped off at because it's digital. And just like that, you'll have your very own 10K card valued at $100.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And folks, if you see my avatar here, the Get Access Tour in January 7 and 8, we will be in Miami. And some of the people that are going to be there are listed here on the flyer, the Get Access Tour. And once we get that, I should have sent that over to you, Kurt. I'm sorry. But once you get that, you're going to be able to click on that, find the Get Access Tour information, and you'll see how you can get your tickets. So thank you so very much. And while we're doing our outros, I'll send the link over to Kurt.
All right, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and do the moderator outros, and then we'll be closing out the room, the last room of 2021. So look forward to seeing everybody next year. The next room will be on Sunday, January 2nd at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So if you go to the greenhouse, you can click the bell next to the next event, and it will remind you at the top of your calendar so that you can pop in and hear the questions or ask your own. All right. We're going to start at the bottom with Credit Goddess. Please let people know who you are, what you do, and how they can get in contact with you for your services. Credit Goddess, you there? All right, she might be away from the microphone. So we'll go Kirk, and then Aaron, then Tiffany, then Kenyatta.
Okay. All right. We closing out the room for the year 2021. Excited about it. My name is Kirk Nugent. Get to serve as your producer for this show. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time. I know that's 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, on Sundays, we're here again at the times that Jarrett just shared. But I serve as your producer here. And one of the things that I get to do is help to broadcast all this greatness, all this knowledge, all of the nuggets of wisdom that Don has been sharing for the past 2 hours. I get to help him broadcast that to a larger audience, giving his content to his audience in the way that they prefer to consume it, right? So we never want to make those decisions for our audience. If they want to consume it on Facebook, if they want to consume it on Clubhouse, if they want to consume it on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, however they best consume it, however they would be most, easily to share that content with their community, with their platform, where they have a sphere of influence, that's where you want to be dropping your content, your value. And that's what I'm able to help him do. And I would love to be able to help you do that as well. Click in with me, tap in with me, kirk10klive.com. You'll find all my links there. Composition is the name of the company. We believe that your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no better way for people to experience your greatness than for them to see you do it live. So let us help build your brand, your side hustle, your passion project with live video. Thank you so much. Have a happy new year.
Well, this is the last day of 2021, and you all have got the best information that can just change your life and take your life to a whole new level. So, first, I just want to give honor and thank Don and the family for just being consistent and showing up and pouring out, and just being living proof, right? Don shared earlier that he's about to pay off a mortgage. He is truly the living proof. So I just appreciate the great work that is going forth, and just the pour. For everybody just doing their part to help to change the narrative for generations to come, and help us to just use our dollars wisely, so that we can again be able to reallocate those dollars and pour into our family and also our community. So I'm Erin Porche, and I am here to serve, to learn, and to continue to grow and expand, all while doing work in my company, Global Risk Consulting Group, where we help business owners to grow and diversify their portfolio and clientele by selling to the government. And there's so many other supports that we provide in that capacity. I love to stay connected with everyone. So please follow me here on Clubhouse. And you can also learn more about how I can add value to your life and business by visiting my website, LadyErin10k.com. That's LadyErin10k.com. I wish you all a prosperous new year, and hope to see you all on the other side. God bless.
Oh, I couldn't ask for a better seat next to me than next to Lady Erin, guys. I love her positive energy. And, everyone in this room comes in here with a spirit of high expectation. I can feel it. I'm a minister of the gospel, and I'm always tapping into the spiritual atmospheres that I'm in. And I can tell you that this is almost like a church meeting of financial freedom, because we're so passionate about what we're giving to you here. And as a property investment team member, I can tell you that the strategy that Don just mentioned today with the interest-free loan is what we use to amplify cash flow, because we don't hold loans. We get cash, we build, and we get in, we get out. And that causes us to make a lot of money. And what he just shared with you can turn you into a property investor as well. So it's my hope that you will take this information and open your mind and your spirit to what is possible. So I want to wish you good peace and blessings for the new year, because, over here at the YDEO, we believe wisdom is the principal thing, and therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, please get an understanding. And that's what we're offering you right here in the P.I.L.L method. In 2022, we'll be launching our summit and our conferences. And I've been speaking with the industry leaders here in my world to get them to come on to Clubhouse. And I can agree with the Queen, Victoria, that was here earlier, saying that thank you for positive energy, because it's hard to find here. And what I can tell you as a newer person to Clubhouse, that's my only goal, to bring you positive energy and life-giving opportunity. And that's why we're here. And more of us are going to be infusing the space, because when I saw that it was not enough positive energy, I went and got my sisters and brothers and I said, I need you all to join me over here because we're on a mission to spread light and love because COVID has really knocked a lot of people off kilter, but we're here to help build you back up and tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you will. Unfortunately, I will not be at the tour. Unfortunately, I've had a couple of deaths in my family, and I'll be traveling to the home going there, very close to me. And I'm just really thankful that I'm still here to give life love. And I appreciate all the love that you all show us back. And I see you down there in the audience, and I pay attention to you because at one point in time, I was down there right next to you. So you matter to me. I'm Tiffany, the YCEO. You can meet me over at yco10k.com.
And around the time that Tiffany was down there, so was I. And so I knew her before this room. And I just feel so blessed that you guys are now a part of my success story. And it all started with the brilliant mind of Don Daniel. And so I hope that you guys stay plugged in because this man never ceases to amaze me. This applies to almost every part of our lives. At this point, I'm trying to see if I can cancel interest into people. Okay. But
now that's baller right there. I love
Yes,
it.
it is.
Did I hear her say she want to cancel people?
She said the interest in people.
No, but all jokes aside, you guys, I'm Kenyatta. You can find me at kenyatta10k.com. And as always, we appreciate your presence and pray that we've earned the privilege of your time. And I just want to say before I leave, if you want to know more about me, reach out to me again, kenyatta10k.com. But thank you so much to everybody on stage and everybody that is down in the listening lounge. I feel so blessed and so honored, and I feel like I'm on the right path because I'm a part of something that's bigger than me, myself, my mission. And this was easy to attach to. So I just want to encourage Don to keep going and encourage you guys to keep sowing into yourselves. Have a great, prosperous new year, everyone.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jared Albritton. You can connect with me at jarrett10k.com. That's JARRETT10k.com. If you are in this Clubhouse room and you're curious, what does Jared talk about on this app? Just go ahead and click on my bio, check out my replays. If any of these resonate with you, then feel free to follow me so you can be pinged into these rooms and you can come on stage and benefit from the information that I support on this app. And definitely recommend you connect with me on Twitter as well. I gained 2,000 followers in the last week because I'm really focused on adding value, especially in the tech space. So if you want to be, privy to tweets around job openings, certifications, courses, conferences, and retweets of Don's room, then you definitely want to check me out on Twitter. With that being said, Don, I'm going to give you the last word and we close it out.
All right. Listen, folks, this is the last show of this year, but we will be back here on Sunday and on Monday. So we'll see you here Sunday and Monday right back here. As we go into this new year, I want to thank you for the support that you've shown us, for sharing the content, for liking the content, for clicking the notification bell so that every time we're on, you will know. Please share this information with others. We want to grow our presence in social media, and we want to grow your knowledge of finances so that we can give you the new financial literacy. Let's end 88 years of being conditioned to give away our wealth to the bankers. Let's take that money instead and to grow wealth for our families and for the generations to come. Thank you so very much for hanging out with us in 2021. And I'm excited to see you again here Sunday in 2022. I am Don, and I'm done speaking.